Last week on Sport Fishing, we showed you part 1 of our 3-day tuna adventure trip as we went looking for yellowfin tuna and dorado down along the Baja coast. While in part 1 we showed you some great action for yellowfin tuna, and in part 2 we have lots more of the same. And we have a few dorado to show you too. So sit back and enjoy this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. This week's episode of Sport Fishing is brought to you in part by Super Silver Thread. When it's time to change your line, it's time for Super Silver Thread. By Mustad, the fish hook people. By Lowry's, the difference is delicious. Bomber Baits for both fresh and saltwater fishing. And by Shakespeare, manufacturing America's best-selling rod, the Ugly Stick. In last week's episode, our skipper, Art Taylor, took us to an area about 120 miles south of Point Loma from San Diego. In this area, we were able to fish all day and catch all the yellowfin tuna we wanted. Later in the day, we made a short move about 15 miles back up the line where we found not only yellowfin tuna, but also some mixtures of dorado and some other game fish. Now, the fishing doesn't get much better than it's been on this 3-day trip. And in part 2 of this week's episode of Sport Fishing, we're going to show you how hot the action can really get. Got a couple going now. Larry's on too. Back this way. Calf.
Color. Yeah. Dean.
Got no line out here.
Nice fish. Leave his head in the water.
Okay, pull that
That's a fish
sardine
tuna.
out. There you go.
Nicer size tuna.
Next the bubble.
It's the bubble.
We got him? Right.
Nice head get up.
Fine job.
On your left there, Gary, so that we don't get.
Ooh, they're boiling.
Look at the lines.
All right, now that. How you doing there? There you go.
I got the right away now. Oh. Oh shit. Let's go.
One of them.
Okay, now I got fish run throughout all this mess here.
Can you leave the corner out there? Whoa, he's going.
Hot rail, hot rail.
Coming. You're all in the corner.
He doesn't want the fish.
You know what?
Bruce.
Oh, get it. Fresh one coming around the corner, guys. Don't want to give it up.
Why would you do that, somebody?
Yeah! Got him, honey. Hey! Hey, Mom, look!
Rick, did you catch something finally?
Finally.
Catch a fish?
Rick, hey, watch it. What do you think, boys? Keeper? Line this new silver thread here. See if it can handle it.
Go, first one.
Keep them straight, guys.
That one coming down.
Big anchovy, 30.
I don't know. Hold your rod up.
Thanks. Lift up.
Just trying to get the
Bait's under the boat again. Swim away.
Just jiggle the tip of your rod and then it'll come right off. There you go.
better not. That didn't take too long. Very good.
Got it. Just go up and down, turn the handle. There you go. Perfect. Great technique there. Gain line without turning the handle and not gaining line, that backs the drag off. So if you lift up gently, drop it down fast enough and turn the handle twice, you short stroke the fish right into the boat. Works great. Doing a great job with 20-pound test there. Fine job.
All right, Bruce. Finally.
I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say.
This fish was meant to die. Bruce had him wrapped in both propellers,
Yeah.
at least twice. And thanks to Steve
Thanks
here,
to Steve for sure.
our second ticket here, he worked it loose.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate it.
Here's Steve, second ticket, did a great job. Got that, and it may not be the biggest fish we catch whole trip, but there won't be one that we worked harder to get in the boat.
That's right.
That kind of got you started on the trip, too.
I told you this afternoon we're gonna get started.
You're gonna change, you're right.
Hey,
Good
thanks.
job.
This week, the galley is brought to you by Lowry's. The difference is delicious. This week in the galley, we're back in Catalina, and I'm standing at the casino in Avalon, and next to me is Kathleen. She's with the Descanso Beach Club, and you're also with the casino here too, right?
Yes, uh-huh.
And thank you for coming out with us and helping
you.
us out today.
My
What is it
pleasure.
that you have planned for us?
Today I'm going to be preparing a seared ahi salad. I've taken fresh ahi, marinated it in Lowry's teriyaki with pineapple juice. I'm going to accent that with the mixed field salad, grilled zucchini, wedges of tomato, drizzle it with a little bit of sesame ginger dressing, and top it off with a few little toasted sesame seeds.
Sounds delicious. Now, for our viewers, they may not recognize ahi, but ahi is basically what, yellowfin tuna?
It is from the tuna family, uh-huh.
Okay, great. Can you get started here?
Sure. I'm going to take the ahi. I'm going to sear it in olive oil, just to the medium rare stage. You want to have it still pink in the center so that it's nice and moist. Okay, and I'm just grilling it or searing it to a medium rare stage so that I can slice it into medallions and put it atop my salad. After about 2 minutes, when the ahi's done to medium rare, take it and slice it into medallions.
Well, we've already done that to the
Okay,
magic of
we've already
television.
done. Place it on top of the mixed field salad that the zucchini's been put in an X shape. Drizzle it with a little bit of sesame ginger dressing.
Boy, that looks wonderful.
And we'll accent it with a few sesame seeds on top, and voila, there you are.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and have a taste of this, Kathleen.
Great.
This looks delicious. Boy, that is delicious. And I would think a key to this is not to overcook the fish.
And to make sure that it's sat in the marinade long enough to absorb all
it.
the flavors.
This is really delicious. I might even start eating salads now. They
There
all
you
taste
go.
it like that. Well, thank you very much, Kathleen.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action here on Sport Fishing.
Good job. That's a nice one.
Got a dodo.
Got a dodo?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Coming down the rail.
I don't have him very good, Larry. Sorry, I had him right in the head. Come on to your left now with that fish.
I know, I'm trying to get
Over the top, over the top. All right, that's it. Here we go. Pandemonium.
Wouldn't want it any other way.
No. I got it covered. Tough to get out. Don't raise his head out now. Put his head back in the water. There we go.
You seen it? I thought I saw it jump. There's three, four fish over there. There you go. Just relax.
Hey, look at that.
Beautiful fish. Look at the color.
Oh,
Beautiful.
it's a nice Dorado.
Silver and blue.
It's weird they don't stay that color.
This is Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us next week as we bring you part 3 of our 3-day tuna fishing adventure aboard the Searcher. You know, we'd like to thank our skipper, Art Taylor, and all the crew of the Searcher for making sure we all had such a great time. Well, make sure you join us next week right here, same time, as we bring you part 3 of our 3-day tuna adventure aboard the Searcher.